Yes, I do agree with the desk there. It is 50-50. Like,
Yeah.
Hanamura is kind of a weird map for both of these teams. I do agree on Volskaya, although Rogue showed some weakness from time to time on Volskaya, especially against RNG. So I don't know.
I thought Rogue's defense on Volskaya was good yesterday. If you remember, they didn't let FNRGFE get control of the high ground. They were extremely
That's true,
effective. You know,
yes.
they were good with their EMPs, and you had Nico run the Genji. They were very good. Now they're on Volskaya. I think here for Immortals, maybe I think it was Sideshow who brought it up. No, it was Gill. It was with Kariv on the Widowmaker. We saw them do that on King's Road the other day. It was like the first point they had like Doomfist, Genji, Tracer, Widow, Winston, and Lucio as their support. So maybe you see something like that come out. But I think when it all kind of boils down to it, maybe they just want to use the Doomfist here. Like maybe that's kind of your logic. Like you can get a little bit of better Doomfist play here for the side of Immortals, and then maybe you see Grim Reality use the McCree, because yesterday, Envy, how effective they were, right? With Taimu on the McCree and effect on the Doomfist on the second point, they were able to open up so much space where Taimu was just set up top, just able to just rain down bullets on McCree. So maybe that's kind of what they're going for. But at least, as we jump into game, it'll be Rogue on defense here first. And it looks like Soon will be running the Doomfist, and then AKM will be running the 76.
And another thing, too, that the desk had noted is AKM with the 76. You mentioned it just now, right? And that composition as we see it on our screen. And they have the ability to do that, whereas Immortals haven't really used it. I mean, you can get Grim on the McCree, but you just lose out on a lot. Like, you lose out on the movement, you lose out on the sustainable healing, and also just the consistent firing. You also lose out on tack, which is great. So I don't know.
Well, Johnny brought it up. I mean, when you have Immortals switch over to the 76, it's usually Grim Reality, but then you want your Tracer, so Agilities will run Tracer, which stinks for Immortals because then you lose your Doomfist or Genji. So it's just a predicament that this Immortals lineup is stuck in. As see Immortals here on the attack, just kind of feeling out their opponents here.
See who's going to get this first pick as they're kind of teetering with the dive and go in. And Immortals, they're actually just going to charge right into this, and they're at the front door, but Soon was going to punch Agilities right out and back into the spawn room. But now though, Soon's going to be in the world of hurt there as Grim Realities takes him out. They end up losing out on Kariv as well, and Verbo. So now this is really just going to be a little desperation. Yeah, and I do agree with this. Wisely enough, backing away, setting up for the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, Hanamura, you do have a great spawner's advantage, but in the situation that Immortals was in, it did not look like they're going to be able to throw that fight in their favor. Now, Rogue, the only lose Soon. He'll come right back off spawn. There's no ults for either side yet, so we're still really early in this game. Fate getting close to a Primal Rage as it looks like, Immortals. They had, some players go out to the left, but you really don't have that 76 to get a good high ground control. So they're going to go right to the point and try and take the fight to Rogue.
Rogue trying to play it safe here. AKM able to get 2 kills on Grim and Fate. And despite Rogue losing Soon, this is still a fight where Rogue has the slight upper hand here. It's just a matter of being able to follow it up, get the shot calling down. And Agilities makes his way over to the left side. And this is gonna hurt. Yeah, and I was gonna say, man, you're gonna have a support there by themselves, so they have to be so careful. The beat is dropped. Wynn's gonna have to use that one so that this way they can remain in the fight. Unko also uses the nano boost there as well. The beat is dropped for Immortals. They're still gonna continue to linger around this point, but Rogue will be able to pick up 2 kills on the supports again, shades of what we saw in that first push.
Yeah, it's Nox coming back with the Primal Rage, able to batter people off of the point. And it looks like you will see Immortals back out. Envy trying to fly back to the rest of his teammates. Immortals does not even get a tick there. All the support ults used. It was Unko, opening things up with a nano boost. Then you saw the sound barrier come in for the side of Rogue. A Transcendence was out for Immortals. Then Immortals uses a sound barrier towards the end of that. They think they're going to be able to take the point. They've done enough damage, but the Primal Rage comes up huge there. Soon with a Meteor Strike here. He gets taken out before he can use it.
That was actually pretty big because he went to go and charge in. I believe that was onto the Diva there, and he gets slept and eliminated right away. So you lose out on the 1-point potential. Grim Reality gets a kill on Win. Transcendence is going to be out as well. And they're getting a lot of kills here. Meteor Strike is going to come down. Unko knows he's not in the best of places, but Grim is going to be there for the follow-up kill as well, and it has just been all red. They have dominated this one. Back into the action as soon. Just not really going to matter all that much, though. They should be able to at least get one tick, force out the Winston. They do get one tick. Now it's all about following up, getting the progress, and yes, you can see Rogue. They have given it up. This is going to be Immortals taking the first point.
Yeah, it's a pretty good defensive stand there for Rogue. Will be Immortals, though, taking point A. You used a few ultimates there. You have Kareev now building right back up to another Transcendence. Unko had used a nano boost, so
they can't let them get high ground for free here.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Doomfist who's able to get right up on that high ground, but even if Immortals gets the high ground, I mean, it's not like they have a McCree or a 76.
Very true.
To really do a ton of damage on the point.
But still, they can get some good angles there at the very least to dive into it, right? I mean, it's a variety of things you could do. Sound Barrier is going to drop on both sides, though. As a matter of fact, I think Wins was only able to get the supports on that particular Sound Barrier there. Grim Reality is going to dive right in. Unko, bye-bye, my friend. You're going to have to take a seat for a second. Soon, super weak as well. Goodbye there. Now Immortals continue to pound out onto the point here. They're getting the kills. Wins, he's trying to just delay it as much as he can, but now they're going to get 2 ticks here, and they're looking for that third. He's going to punch the crap out of Unko. Back away, my friend. Not today. And they're so close to being able to make this one happen. Agilities is putting in so much work with the Doomfist right now. They went up high, and then they just dropped right on them. Doomfist drops down with the Meteor Strike there as well. And players are just trying to stall this one out. They're so close to being able to make this one happen, and they do. Immortals get 2.
A lot of damage there for Agilities at the end on Doomfist. As soon as Rogue engages with that Sound Barrier, Immortals uses a Sound Barrier of their own because they know Rogue doesn't have another sustain ultimate. You have Unko running the Ana, so he's only got a nano boost. You don't have to worry about a Transcendence. They force the fight on the point. They're able to win it.
Now let's see what's going to come here as Immortals will be on defense. You mentioned before about not having the 76, but it still worked out very well for them because of just how aggressive they played that out. And also when you have Agilities just going absolutely off on Doomfist.
Well, that's why you love Doomfist for a second, right?
Yeah.
When you can get him down to the point, you get a little bit of an advantage. I mean, you saw Soon coming out of the spawn on the left-hand side, just flying a rocket punch, take him out, no one hit before he can even get back. You're able to do a ton of damage to the Diva on the point, who's just trying to stall with the defense matrix.
And Unko was a non-factor as well for the first, let's say 3 minutes in the fight. Like they, he kept getting first couple, engagements, I should say, not minutes, but first couple engagements. They were just beating the crap out of him, right? Whether it was Grim Reality forcing him back to the spawn and taking him out, you don't get that long-range sustained healing. You don't get the biotic nade. There's just a lot that really worked out for Immortals there, and big credit to the DPS for really going off on that one. But now it's time for Rogue to attack here. Immortals on defense, and nothing too crazy here.
Nope, it'll be Immortals running the Doomfist again. This time for Rogue, you won't have Soon on Doomfist. He'll go with Tracer, and you'll have AKM on the 76. So we'll see how Rogue decides to play this. So you see, look at the view Agilities can get here. He goes up on this top perch with his Winston. He's able to just see right through, gain a little bit of a perspective here as we jump right into game. It will be Rogue on the attack.
Doors are open. Time for Rogue to make it happen here. Good time as well, and Kareev already getting a shot there on AKM. Headshots removing him out of the equation. So you're not going to have your 76 to just do that long-range damage. He also, that's just time wasted there for him building on ultimate. So good look for Immortals as they kind of just continue to play around the front door here. No one meeting him at the front door, though, so they're playing a little further back. Different from what we saw Rogue do with Doomfist there, where they played more of that front door. So I think Rogue, though, they're taking their time with this push.
Well, to give Rogue the time and the space to decide what they want to go to, Nox jumps up top left. He has Soon and AKM here. He's Soon able to try and poke around that left-hand side. AKM getting set up on top on the 76. As soon as players go into the point for Rogue, for Immortals, it's going to be AKM just able to land a ton of damage down. Takes out Agilities. He's trying to get back to the point. It'll be a Transcendence coming out here for the side of Immortals. Everyone starts to back up, but there goes Verbo. So you get one of the supports out of the equation. Here comes the attack from Rogue.
Crazy burst damage from that pulse bomb as well. And Soon, oh man, a great Tracer indeed as he eliminates another support there in Rogue. This one very different from what we saw before from Immortals, who had a couple of stalled out pushes. Rogue, they're able to take this one. Slow and steady wins the race, and they do so with colors, flying colors. And now it's going to be time to see what they do. They will have the 76 for the high ground here, and they're pushing out to the right side. Immortals can't let them get possession of this.
Well, you just saw the Transcendence if you're Rogue, so you know Verbo's got to be close to a sound barrier. If you can get that out, and you have both your support ults, now it's going to be Rogue in a very good position to set a great time as they try and vie for the high ground control.
So far, it's looking pretty good. The Envy is just going to have to dip out of there. Nico's charging right forward. Unco is going to use the Transcendence there. Nico gets onto the point. D.Va self-destruct is out. Ends up killing AKM on that one. So goodbye, AKM. You're not going to be able to use that tack visor right now. And Soon's also being pressured here by the Doomfist. She's going to have to go back right into this one here. And a regroup as Rogue re-engage. So they don't get much out of that. But they did use that Transcendence.
Well, the side of Immortals, right? I know you did use a self-destruct. You used the Primal Rage. Two ultimates that are very good to stall on the point. But the issue for Rogue is you had to use a Transcendence there. Now you're allowing Immortals to build up both support ults. And look at this. Oh, they got agility. So they get him really weak up top. Now they're able to take him out. The Doomfist is down. A Pulse Bomb comes out on Envy. They get him really weak. They can get him demech. That'd be huge.
Able to find themselves 2 kills on that one. Envy, goodbye. No more D.Va for you, as AKM has just that tack visor above, and that's going to force out both support ults for Immortals here. So desperation as they try and keep themselves alive, but Rogue are going to continue to remain on to the point here. Agilities dives right in, and Unco, oh man, he just got smashed there by Agilities, but still, they're able to maintain high ground control. They're forcing out that Primal Rage, and you know they lose out on the players. Wisely enough, just backs away. A lot put into that fight on both sides, X.
Yeah, Rogue goes all in. As soon as they're able to take out Agilities, they end up using pretty much all of their ults at that moment in time. When the sound barrier comes out for the side of Immortals, they try and buy some time with Nico launching a self-destruct into the air. But I know Agilities, he's able to get out top, use that Meteor Strike, just backed Unco, split off at Unco and AKM. See, Agility's able to take out AKM at the beginning there as Doomfist. That'll be Rogue, though, pushing on to the point here with a Transcendence. They're going deep.
Yeah, and the supports were all the way forced back to that spawn room there. And you saw the Winston just go right into it. And look at the pressure that Soon, he just wants to be able to put this down, but he can't quite make it happen just yet, though. Able to take out Fate. No more Winston in the fight now. Primal Rage will go out for Nox, but he's just in dire straits. Really low health. They got to keep him alive, and they're doing so, which is a huge credit to the support players for Rogue, as they're forcing them to have to push back here. Now the Transcendence comes out, and they're looking to just end this fight, Immortals.
And Rogue knows that they don't have a sound barrier, but some kills coming in for the side of Immortals. You could have potentially gotten AKM set up here with this tack visor, but it'll be Rogue who backs out here, because they have a sound barrier plus tack visor. As Immortals, they'll just have that sound barrier. You saw the Transcendence being used. Envy able to chase down AKM. Takes him down, so Rogue, just have to wait a little bit longer. So we'll see what Rogue decides to do. If Soon can land a big pulse bomb, right, and you follow it up with a tack visor, able to get that sound barrier out, maybe then you could make something happen if you're Rogue. It looks like they're still going to commit to try and get this high ground.
Once again, you want to put 76 up there, especially considering he's going to have tack visor. Nico kind of scouting things out. They're just waiting it out, right? They're just waiting to see what they can get. Grim Reality is going to get taken out by a Helix Rocket, courtesy of AKM. Sound Barrier is going to go down for Rogue. And at that very moment, though, it's going to be AKM. I believe he does he pop his tack visor. No, actually, I don't think he did. I thought I heard the sound, but no, we weren't on his screen, so I didn't see it happen at that moment. Fate takes out 2 kills, wins goodbye. They're back to the drawing board again.
Yeah, Rogue gets that first kill. They use the sound barrier. It looks like they're going to drop down right onto the point. Envy places a self-destruct right underneath that perch, so they can't jump down. And then you saw Fate come in with the Primal Rage, taking players out. Rogue, though, you do have a Primal Rage. Okay, so Rogue has a lot here. So Rogue has a Primal Rage, Transcendence. You still have AKM.
They could push right in with the Transcendence
visor.
and the tack.
Well, you don't want to use that Transcendence because then you don't have the sound barrier, right? And you still have the Transcendence on the side of Immortals. So I think you probably want to save that Transcendence. You want to force a pick out, and then maybe, if Soon is able to apply some pressure to Karif, then he uses that Transcendence just to stay alive.
Just getting more poke, continuing. See where the openings are going to be here for Rogue. 1 minute, 38 seconds on the clock. Not a lot of time right? You're going to look maybe two good pushes out of this one, but with how you can stall things out on this particular map, I mean, one push could seem like an eternity now. Unco, though, opens it up right away with a kill on Agilities as we're on his POV. And he has to use the Transcendence now. Let's see if AKM is going to use the Tact Visor. I think they're just going to wait, and there's the Tactical Visor. So the players are just going to have to go up to the staircase here. They managed to get one tick on that one. They can't exit the staircase. They're kind of pinned back there. Agilities goes right into it, but they're able to make the cap happen with 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock. That Tact Visor, so well done, just really forcing people to not contest it, or else they were just going to be dropping bodies onto the point there.
Yeah, we were on, on the high ground when we saw Agilities fall, but, when he falls, the Transcendence for Immortals comes in over by the point. I think it's because Soon is over, just kind of poking towards that back. So the Transcendence comes in. That's exactly what Rogue wanted. They knew they didn't have a sound barrier on the side of Immortals. The Tact Visor,
they isolated them very well.
The Tact Visor just keeping people from getting onto the point. Immortals doesn't even step on it, as it'll be Rogue. They complete the map. Not a lot of time left in their time bank, so it'll be Rogue's chance here to attack. As Immortals now on defense, they'll go off of the Doomfist here. They'll have Agilities go onto the Genji.
Now it's time to see how Rogue do this again. Remember, folks, you have your time bank there. So for those of you guys who are maybe new, joining us for the first time, you essentially at this point, you're going to use the time that you are given to capture or make as much progress as you possibly can to win out the game. Immortals setting up, getting ready to go as we have nothing, they're not throwing us any different looks. Everyone's playing basically, what they're comfortable with, except for Agilities using the Genji.
Well, I mean, Agility's fantastic. Genji, a minute to go here, or really for Immortals, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, we need to win, one, potentially 2 fights here. Just do not get picked first if you are Immortals here. You cannot give a free player advantage away here to Rogue.
No, you cannot. AKM was taking some damage there. Had to back away. There you go. Fate, though, he's going to be hurt. But Unco, he falls early. Oh, man, that is definitely going to sting. Losing out on the Diva as well as a Zenyatta. Goodbye, Nox. And they're just going to have to reset as quickly as they possibly could. And you have Nico, who has to get back into the Diva mech or die or just get out of there. And this is just time wasted.
You have lost Fate of your Immortals, though, so you now have Nox coming back from the spawn. Soon cannot drop here. You may be able to get back to the point here if you're Rogue. Grim Reality with a Pulse Bomb could be the difference.
Grim Reality has been a playmaker for Immortals in the past. Can he do it this time? 5 seconds. They got to get on it. They have to contest it. They are contesting it currently. AKM's going to go right in. And now we're going to be in overtime as they're going to dive right forward here, force them out of the point. There goes the Transcendence for Karib to keep them in this fight now. Envy, he's going to be a little weak, but they're getting the kills. They managed to find 3 in that fight. Sound Barrier, they thought that they were going to make it happen, but Wins gets picked off, and that is going to do it here, so long as they can remove Soon, who is being a pain in the neck. And I know Rogue, they want to get back there as soon as they possibly can. If Soon can stay alive, no, it's going to burn down, and that will be it. So they can't get any points there. Now all Immortals need to do is just get the first tick, and it'll be GG. They managed to take 1 win here.
Yeah, Rogue, they get back. They're able to touch the point, no force overtime, but Immortals, they get the Transcendence. They're able to push on through. Wins earns his Sound Barrier as he's about to call it down. He probably only would have connected with Nox and Soon. Yeah. There was only 2 guys
and
there.
You heard him say, let's break it.
Yeah, and then he dies before he can actually drop the beat. So it'll be Immortals now on offense. They only have to get that first tick to complete the map. They have 3 minutes and 36 seconds to do so. See Agilities. It looks like obviously time to make changes, but it could potentially stay on this. Genji, so good on Genji and Doomfist. Ran Doomfist for most of the map thus far. Could see the Genji play come in here, get a little bit more aggressive. Well, you get that Dragon Blade, man, especially if you know that Unco's not going to be running the Zenyatta, so you really only have to worry about getting that Sound Barrier out before you use the Dragon Blade.
Yeah.
It's a much more effective ult than something like the Doomfist Meteor Strike, although you do lose the one-shot punch potential of Doomfist.
If you're Unco, where are you going to look to play out here, X? I mean, you know that, like, you got to use that Biotic to keep yourself alive in this fight, give yourself long-range healing.
Well, I think, you're going to see Unco playing a little bit further back of the point, towards that left. Rogue with the Ana, you want to force that close engagements, land a biotic grenade, right? Keep your teammates up from afar. So there'll be Immortals now, just coming around the corner here, just trying to get a read on where Rogue's trying to play.
And Soon does manage to find Grim Reality, who tried to push out. So Envy, I think, yeah, he just recognized it. He was going to have to get out of that one there. Got a little bit more visibility to just give him an idea of where people were going to be positioned there, but it won't really result in all that much. They need to be able to make something happen, but it is going to be 3 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time to work with here.
And you see from Agility's POV, you have Soon just being a nuisance there on that top right, and then you have AKM sitting all the way in that back right with Unko. You have to figure out a way to get that 76 out of that position. You see the dive coming in here for Immortals.
Oh, they dove right onto the Diva, forcing them back now. Over here to the front, and Soon, oh man, they were able to take him out. So I was gonna say, like, Soon, as soon as he got in Agility's face, I mean, he had his number. Agility just really couldn't get out of that one. And now Immortals back at it, regrouping, figuring out the next push.
Immortals uses a pulse bomb there. Agility's now, he'll switch off of the Genji, he'll go to Doomfist. So maybe you think, they're playing in that farther back right corner. From the view here of Immortals, maybe you can get Doomfist into a position, you land one of those one-shots. You only have to get that one tick. You still have 2 minutes to go here. Rogue, though, starting to build up on some ultimates.
Fate looking for the prime opportunity to jump down. There he goes. He finds one. Do they follow it up, though? The Nano Boost comes in. And if they're able to take out Nox, that could be pretty big, considering that they ended up losing out on Soon, and Nox is going to have to go back to the spawn room now. As Fate finds Unko in the back lines here. And this is just not looking good. Remember, folks, you only have to get that one tick, 76 in a world of hurt. They're going to use the Transcendence so that they can keep this fight going. He knocks him away, hits him with a home run there. And they're just keeping him back, but they have to get that point. They have to cap it. Wins is going to use it, and they manage to make it happen. And that is going to be Immortals getting a win here. We're now at 2-1. But Immortals, I mean, they had a plan going into Hanamura. The guys in the desk said it was a 50-50. But now that Rogue have lost this, the only reasonable outcome here is that they go to Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah, you would think Rogue selects Gibraltar coming up next, but you saw the Doomfist swap their payoff for Immortals. They couldn't really get all the way to the back to put the pressure on the 76, and they switch over to Doomfist, and it's just that early pick. He's able to just get that one shot onto Soon, and that just opens up the rest of the map. See a play of the game here from Grim Reality that at the end, Wins was not able to use that sound barrier, get back towards the point. Rogue falls with a few ultimates there, but it'll be Immortals staying alive in this series, staying alive in Season 1, is that they need a win here in the worst of ways.
Yeah, I was desperate times call for desperate measures, right? You got to pull one out of the hat, and they managed to make it happen there. So Immortals able to find a victory, and keep in mind, they got to win Watch Point Gibraltar, which is more than likely going to be the map that comes up here.
Yes.
And then after that, they have to reverse sweep them and win on Control as well. So
it's possible. Backs against the wall, you can make something happen as you see the map come up. It will be Watch Point Gibraltar here in game number 4. If Rogue wins, they win the series 3-1. If you see Immortals take this, we will go to a game 5. I believe all of Immortals series thus far, they've been able to win one game, and then they lose in a 3-1 fashion pretty consistently. So maybe that holds true. Maybe Immortals bounces back, realizes their season's on the line here.
I mean, just not a situation I thought Immortals will be in, folks. And I don't think we came into this, no one thought it.
Yeah.
It just, again, everyone talked about how they're kind of like late bloomers. I know ZP had mentioned it a couple times. So it's like, oh, Immortals, late bloomers. They'll typically find their way, midway through the season. But now, I mean, you can't bloom no more, baby.
We are midway through the season, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's late. You haven't bloomed yet. Time to bloom. Be a peacock. I don't know. Do something. Anyway,
be a peacock.
I don't know. Let your.
What does that even mean?
Hey man, I just want to spread my wings and fly.
I'm not even sure peacocks fly. But anyway, Immortals on defense.
Now you have me thinking about that.
Right? I am thinking what a peacock looks like. I'm not entirely sure.
Pretty sure it's a bird.
Yeah, it's a bird. Flamingos are birds, so they don't fly either. So Immortals will start things off on defense.
It's a pretty useless bird.
Here on Watch Point Gibraltar, it is actually a really ridiculous bird. Agilities will go Genji, and Grim Reality will go Tracer. So don't really, we haven't really seen a lot of Doomfist here on Gibraltar. It's really, it does not surprise me that you see Agilities.
Just so many great line of sights.
With Genji. Yeah, and then no AKM and soon. No Trace. You're gonna have Tracer in 76. We'll see. I think the biggest question is, how does Immortals play this at the start, right? Do they play that close corner where you see you have Envy sitting? Or do you just kind of play for that high ground, play for the poke, and then maybe challenge them when they get underneath the bridge, really in that close contained area where you can make your Genji and Tracer really powerful? So we'll see. 15 seconds to go before this map unlocks and we get things started. It'll be Rogue on offense with a chance to close this series out.
Here we go. The doors will open. Now it's time to see who will win this. If Rogue take it, they will take this series 3-1, and they will continue. They would recover from that FNRG FE loss, and Immortals will just be one step closer to being eliminated from getting into the playoffs there. Makes it very difficult at that point for them to do so. And Immortals, if they're able to win this one out, they needed to go at least 1-1 this week to stay within playoff contention here. So far, though, it's been working out for the Frenchman. Rogue able to get 2 kills to turn the tide in their favor. Follows it up with another one there on Agilities. Despite them losing soon, they should be okay. And look how far back they are pushing them here as they escort the payload underneath the car wash.
Yeah, I love how AKM pushed all the way through there, potentially trying to get a pick there on a Verbo. Rogue able to withstand that fight. They all got hit with a beautiful bionic grenade from Verbo. They're able to win the first series of engagements. And look at the pressure they're putting on both supports here on the high ground.
Yeah, they're not letting them get any kind of presence going here. But now Nico, as he zips on through, they're still getting those kills. And as these fights happen here, it's been Rogue just getting the upper hand in so many engagements thus far. Transcendence is going to come out to keep them in this fight. They go into the server room, and they're going to respond in turn. They're going to use the Transcendence of their own.
It's a beautiful disengage there from Rogue. They use their own Transcendence. They have also their own Sound Barrier. They're going to invest it into the fight with the Tac Visor. See everything going right for Rogue right now. Getting very close to taking point A, which they will finally do.
Look at this aggression. Look at this aggression. They just go right in there. They don't want them to have any opportunity to set up. Get that high ground control in the, on second, and you can control this one wonderfully.
They're going to back up. They demeched Envy, so Envy now gets that close spawn. Now he's forced to just kind of go in, die here. We'll see if Rogue gets aggressive off of the back of that. It looks like you have Nox and Nico going up top, forcing some of the members back. You don't have any support ults if you're Rogue. You don't have the Tac Visor. Although Nox, he could get closer towards this doorway, Goldenboy. He'll start using that Primal Rage, knock players back. But it looks like Rogue going to allow them to come in. Soon getting very close to the Pulse Bomb. Immortals, they have the Dragon Blade here to use.
And surely they, I guess I was going to say, I thought they saw soon, as a matter of fact. Support's going to be in the back line here. Agilities does get 2 kills, so at the very least, he's doing work. That's going to be a DMEC on Nico as well. And he, soon... Good job. I mean, he did his job on that one, right? He pushed forward, but at that moment, right, you had Agilities just cutting through everyone. And we actually do have that one on replay, so let's see how Agilities made this one happen as he charges right in, wins falls first, AKM goodbye, and then that was basically just going to be a wrap.
Yeah, and Agilities knows there's no support ults available for Rogue there, so you have free reign when you use that Dragon Blade. And now the threat of Soon here behind enemy lines really has to scare Immortals as he has his Pulse Bomb. Oh, look at this. He's got Kareev right in the open. Soon.
Oh, that was big, man. Oh, that was a great play. I mean, when you have your Zenyatta in that situation, he's able to come out on top. That's just what you live for, baby. When you're in that support position, you gotta stay alive. And he was so close to doing it, but still, though, despite the best efforts, Rogue, they're continuously pushing this payload forward. And here's the other thing, right? In that fight, they displaced Kareev from the fight in that position, so they really were able to follow up with a couple more kills. Tac Visor's going to come out as well, and now they just clear out Immortals from the point. And this is going to be a cap. So still, good job, despite not being able to make it happen, though. Shout out to Kareev.
Yeah, a nice shot here from Kareev. We can take a look at it yet again.
So look how far away it was from his team, right?
Yeah, he's so far away. See, I believe it's Verbo who comes back there, try to help him. So you lose both of your supports from the point. AKM and Soon, though, it's going to be a Helix Rocket, a few bullets from Soon. You're able to take Grim Reality out. So now it's going to force Immortals to wait a little bit here. Immortals earning both support ults. Rogue probably knows this at this moment, so we'll see how Rogue decides to play this. You know,
Oh my
if
God,
Morello
Creed
uses
is right
both
there.
support ults,
He
maybe
gets
back
stuck.
on out.
Oh, he ends up getting the kill on Verbo, but he prompts the Transcendence to come out from Kareev, and now they're just going to wait
But
this
now
one
you-
out and
yeah.
re-engage again, X.
Yeah, but now if you're Rogue, I mean, the Transcendence comes out, and you know Immortals is going to get aggressive. They're so far away from you already, you just back up a little bit. Rogue doesn't have to use their own Transcendence, doesn't have to use their sound barrier. And now you force Verbo, who's getting very close. He's going to get sound barrier here in just a second.
He could just
Back
block
to
that
his
door
spawn.
with self-destruct.
He could, as you see, they're waiting to get players out of the spawn. Now the sound barrier comes in with the Dragon Blade from the side of Immortals.
Going to use the Transcendence to keep themselves alive here.
Sound
His
barrier's gonna
agility's-
come in here.
Yeah, he doesn't get anything out of that. There goes the self-destruct. Doesn't get anyone with that one, though. Meanwhile, Soon takes out Agilities. They lose out on supports, but still, they're going to continue to see if they can demech the Diva here. Fate also just by himself. That Mega Health isn't going to come back in time for him to be able to grab it, and he will fall. And now Soon just having to back away here. They're getting so close. 2 minutes, 38 seconds on the clock. They're right there, but
And I thought that was going to look
Yeah.
good for Rogue, right?
I thought so too.
You got the Transcendence from the side of, the sound barrier from the side of Immortals, and then you kind of fell back. You used your own Transcendence, then you used your own sound barrier. You just were not able to push up, get back close towards that cart. Soon here, he has been so dangerous going on the
Kareev.
supports, man.
look at that dive. They just coordinated, went right in there. That was a thing of beauty. Nox works with him on that one as well to get the kill. Verbo, you're just not in the best of positions, buddy. The 76 will find its target. 1.74 meters left now. The Diva trying to keep this one alive, but they just can't get out of the stairs, and that will be a cap for Rogue. And honestly, that was just very well done from that team.
And every time we were on board with Soon, you're looking through his POV, it looked like he had just free reign on the supports of Immortals. I mean, how many times was he behind the enemy team, and he has Kareev there, or Verbo, like just
Well,
right in his
even look
sights
at
and
that.
nobody there to help.
Even look at that final dive, right? That came up. He smelled blood. Kareev was just, he came off of the spawn. He didn't really have, much to do at that moment. I'm sure he wasn't like expecting it at that very moment. And as soon as it happened, pushed in.
I see what you're trying to do here.
I know. I'm sorry. But I wasn't actually, but now that you said it, maybe. As soon as he got up on his face with the Tracer, you got Nox dived in immediately. They took out Kareev and just shut him out. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how Immortals play this one, because Rogue, I honestly think they're just so confident on Watchpoint Gibraltar that if you're Immortals, I mean, you're kind of shaking in your boots at this point.
Yeah, so Rogue will run the Sombra. It'll be AKM on Sombra. The only difference is Winds will not be running the 76. I know when we've seen them run the Sombra, primarily you see Winds go over the 76. We see that on the first point on Mbani from Rogue, but this time you'll have Soon on Tracer, AKM will run the Sombra, and you'll have both supports, true supports back there with Unko on the Zenyatta, and you'll have Winds on the Lucio.
This is going to be interesting. See how Rogue play this out. Immortals, on the other hand, with the Deaths did talk about wanting Kareev on Widow. Maybe we get that. You're going to have the Hanzo come out here for a brief moment, really just place the Sonic Arrow, either onto the right building as soon as they come out, right where actually Winds and the crew are located, or on that building to the left. And now the door is going to open. See what they end up getting. And no, actually, they don't end up using it, so they don't really care that they want to get that visibility. But again, running the same thing, just nothing all that different from Immortals here. They're really just committing to what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, and what Rogue could do is you see AKM just jump on the cart. It gets contested for a few seconds. This is how we saw Taimu play the other day here on Gibraltar for Envy. On the defensive end with the Sombra, you can just keep getting on the cart, contesting, putting in some damage as your teammates, just trying to hold down the front side of this.
Yeah, remember too, AKM more than likely hacked that Mega that was down there. Gets the kill, but still, if they do manage to, grab the Mega, that will lead to more ult gained for AKM now, and this fight continues to ensue underneath the car wash.
He does drop Kareev. Kareev now switches off of the Zenyatta. He'll go over to Ana, as it will allow AKM to get back into the fight. He's getting closer towards an EMP. This cart is stuck in a dangerous spot here, Goldenboy. And
yes, especially considering that he's going to have EMP in just a little bit.
with all these players stacked up. Rogue getting very close, having both support ults plus an EMP. Immortals,
nice.
You do have the Dragon Blade come out here.
That was big. Taking him out, removes the EMP, and Agilities cuts through the tank and support members for Immortals. And he knows that the Tracer's there. Whoop, found you. He got to get away. Oh, chase him down. Find him. All right. Soon's going to get out
But
of
where
dodge.
the card is, you probably have another fight here if you are Rogue. So
yes, you do.
You'll be able to go in. You'll have Primal Range. You'll have your Transcendence, your Sound Barrier, Self-Destruct. You have a lot of ults here. Immortals, all their sustain ultimate you have is going to be that Sound Barrier, which could easily get negated by the EMP.
See when that EMP is going to get used, and I think they are going to wait for the Sound Barrier to come out.
Yes.
We talked about it before. Transcendence is in play for Unco, though, as he wants to give Rogue a little bit more help onto the point. Primal Rage drops and Agilities doesn't really have to worry about that anymore as he focuses attention on the other side. Try to see if he can take out any of the red team there. And there goes the EMP. It is going to be dropped, though. Verbal did not use the Sound Barrier. Now he's going to use it. They're going to re-engage on this one, and this is looking good for Immortals.
He doesn't get the Sound Barrier down, though. He drops right before he's out to put the Sound Barrier down. So you don't get a good use of the Sound Barrier there. You don't get one at all. If you are Immortals, you use a Nano Boost there. AKM and Verbo is a battle of, they wanted to get that Sound Barrier out before the EMP. One or two players drop for Rogue. They use the EMP. Immortals, they try and disengage, come back with the Sound Barrier. They're not able to do it. For Immortals, though, you do have Sound Barrier plus Dragon Blade in this fight. No Transcendence to worry about, no Sound Barrier as well.
I mean, theoretically, they should have the upper hand in this fight. There goes the Sound Barrier. It's going to catch all the members, and Agilities is going to use the added protection to push forward into the back lines, and he will cut right through the supports there. Goodbye, my friends. Back to the spawn you go. This will be Immortals winning out on this one. So, hey, it didn't work out for them the first time. They were able to follow it up on the second push, and man, I have to say, just Rogue and the timing of that one and the way they were able to just, really corral them into exactly what they wanted. But Immortals, despite the best efforts of Rogue, get that first point. And they're doing basically what we saw before from Rogue, just really pushing him back and trying to establish some kind of control here in second.
You still have AKM, though, being a nuisance on this Sombra. He's behind enemy lines. They never actually take him out from that first push. He lands a big EMP. So you see Rogue getting aggressive here, pushing Immortals all the way back. We'll see if Grim Reality can pick anything up here, as it's a good defense matrix there from Nico, able to keep Wins alive.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't defense matrix in the basement, man. He ends up dying on that one. But they haven't been able to push his payload through.
It's gone nowhere.
It's made no progress, besides just getting a couple inches forward from that first point. Now they're going to start and make some progress, though. And Rogue, they're building up a considerable amount of ults here on the other side for Immortals. They're looking in dire straits, at least for this next fight.
Well, Rogue is going to build up their EMP pretty quickly here. You see AKM just used it in the last fight. He's already up to 60%, and they have every other ultimate. They have the Transcendence, they have the Sound Barrier. You probably see, one of those ults, being saved for when that Dragon Blade comes through.
I believe that was the Nano that went out as well, and that went over to Fate. With that Tesla, you can really do a lot of damage with it because of the, the way it spreads out with the lightning. Grimzo's gonna dive right into this. Diva Self-Destruct goes into play, but it doesn't get a kill. And there goes Grim meeting him right as he tried to charge right through. And Immortals, they're able to fend it off, but they're getting pushed back here.
Yeah, here will be the next fight yet again. Just like how it was on point A, you have AKM with the EMP, you have Verbo with that Sound Barrier. For the side of Immortals, you want to try and get that EMP out before you use the Sound Barrier. Don't want that support ult to go to waste, especially because most likely what we've seen from Immortals is you're going to use that Sound Barrier to engage with the Dragon Blade.
Agilities will certainly need that protection if he wants to dive into the line. Kareev is going to die. And the Sound Barrier goes out. Oh no, Wins was going to use the Sound Barrier, ends up dying. Agilities, he doesn't need a Sound Barrier to get the kills. He gets himself 3. He's going to find a 4th. He gets a 5th as well. And Agilities is all over them. Unbelievable stuff. And sure, you can bait it out. You can wait, play a little game of chicken. But Agilities, he's having none of those shenanigans. He dives in with the blade. They get the second point.
Yeah, and Immortals does not have to use the Sound Barrier there in that fight. We'll take a look at this Dragon Blade from Agilities.
Look at that.
He's such a sick Genji player. The deflect here. Oh, and then the dash reset right through. So, Wins was trying to use the Sound Barrier, keep players up there for
You
Rogue.
heard him too.
Yeah, he gets dropped before he's able to land the Sound Barrier down. So, We'll see how long Rogue stays on. You know, the Sombra pick here is now the EMP comes through, plus the sound barrier, as they are now going to push all the way through, going to get very aggressive. So, you know, they've taken down one. They're going to have to back up a little bit. Maybe we see Immortals answer right back.
But remember, they didn't get Verbo in that fight, or actually, they didn't get Verbo, so he wasn't able to use, or he was able to use the sound barrier at the opportune moment and give them the added shields. That's why you're seeing this fight continue to work in favor of Immortals. They're continuing to apply pressure on the other side here, and they just want to get this one around the bend. So, you know, again, they didn't get him in the fight, and I was excited because I saw Verbo playing back a bit more. Unfortunately, they have to regroup.
Okay, so you see all the EMP come in from AKM, and you saw the push come through. Now he's going to switch off of the Sombra. So you're going to get AKM now on the 76. And when he has been on 76, he's really been a thorn in the side of Immortals. I want to see how Immortals decides to go attack him, get him down from those advantageous positions on the 76. You do have a Nano Blade possibility here available for Immortals, and they know that the side of Rogue has just used both support ults.
What can they use here? There goes a Blade. Agilities is going to go in there, has to use the deflect, and he'll end up dying from AKM. Is there any other follow-up here from Agilities, though? And look at that Diva Matrix protecting their Zenyatta. Unco's able to stay alive, and they read that one so well. They were able to just hold it off because that's exactly what they were doing before to the opposition. Just good work from Rogue on that defense.
It's been AKM on the Soldier 76 who's really made a difference for Rogue in this matchup. Only 20 seconds left here, Alex. Kareev, no Transcendence, Verbo, no Sound Barrier, no support ults for the side of Immortals. Soon with a Pulse Bomb, AKM going to get Attack Visor here as well. We'll see if Immortals can get to the cart, if they can advance this payload.
Can Grim make a big play? And I think that was gobbled up by the defense matrix from Diva. But now here we go. It's going to be overtime. They have to hang around this payload. If they do, it's going to be GG. And that will be really painful for Immortals in Contenders Season 1. But for Rogue, if they're able to win this one out, it would be great for them because of that loss that they sustained to FNR GFE. Agilities is going to charge right in there. Grim Reality is able to get a kill there on Unco as well. And they're pushing him into the doorway. The Rocket Punch as well. And they're bringing this one around the bend. But this is going to be a very difficult push for them. They have to challenge this one right now, Rogue.
Yeah, AKM switches over to Doomfist. Maybe you can land one of those punches, knock the players into the cart. The sound barrier comes through as well for Rogue. They get on the point. Agilities with 2 on Doomfist. He's going to go up into the sky with the Meteor Strike, land right on Wins' head. Rogue will not hold on the defensive end. It will be Immortals completing the map with a minute to go.
Man, you know, when you gotta pull it out there, bro, and you gotta make it happen. Bring out a Doomfist, and he'll punch his way to victory.
I mean, Immortals does it. No time remaining. They will get a minute now to attack. So we'll see how things change here for Immortals. But you know, right there towards the end, you know, you're able to get AKM out of that fight early. AKM, I believe, used Attack Visor. Doesn't even really get a chance to fire anything, and they just jump on him right away. You're able to get him out of play. So we'll see what Immortals does with their minute to attack. So I know obviously not a ton of time to work with here. AKM will run the Sombra. It'll be the same defensive setup for Rogue that was so successful. No, I did not hold them on that first point for the entirety.
But a minute
still,
they did.
It was a fantastic hold though on point A.
At least they held him for a minute, my friend. And it did work out before. So I'm sure they're hoping to do the same thing again. Immortals on the other side. I'm anticipating that they know that the Sombra will be waiting for them. And man, this has just been such a great game. Immortals, they need this win so bad. Force it to Control. Force it to Ilios. But Rogue can end it right here. And this is going to be all progress. So it's not like before on Hybrid where you had to cap something and, you know, you get to that yellow tick. No, for this one, it's going to be all about pushing the payload as much as you possibly can and getting as many points as you possibly can. And now Grim on the Widowmaker here, so I think they were just hoping to see if they could find like a tracer on the back line or maybe even the Sombra too as soon as she popped out. We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they can get AKM, who's contesting the cart. When he comes out of Invis, you're able to land a shot here on the Widowmaker, so we'll see. It also prevents Rogue from kind of peeking out, right, contesting the cart right there, because you don't want to just have Widowmaker just land those shots, potentially land one on Unco and swing things in Immortals' favor.
Rogue are really good at being able to hold down on this first point, so if you're a Rogue fan, you're feeling pretty good right now. Shout out to the French community that I'm sure are tuning in to see their team play. Agilities is going to get taken out, but Fate's able to get himself 2 kills. But now it's going to go into overtime here. Nice shot from Grim Reality. That will have to send Nico back there again, and they reset, but it's in overtime. One mistake, and that is it. Their progress ends right now.
Well, Rogue coming into the next fight, they'll have EMP, they'll have Transcendence. The Dragon Blade not available yet here for Immortals. Fate, though, could use that Primal Rage, knock players back. As they get off the cart for a split second here, Immortals going to impede their progress. As now Verbo earns himself the sound barrier. Maybe he uses it here. You need to get that EMP out first.
There's Sombra on the left side. You got to keep it left side there. And
they get off the cart.
What? What? What the hell?
Oh, I don't know if I can. No.
What?
Well, you saw for a split second they got off the cart.
Yeah.
And they stopped their progress, right? And then, like, the fight comes from Rogue, and a few players jump up onto that top high ground on the right-hand side, and players go to the left.
That
and everybody
happened
just
before,
takes
too.
the fights, and they don't have anybody on the cart.
And I'm over here looking on the left side to wait for the Sombra to jump in and catch him on point. No, they're just, you know, bothering themselves over in the corner. Man, that is frustrating.
You don't get to use any of the ultimates that you had built
Oh,
up.
no.
I mean...
It was a gimme. They gave it to them. They gave it to them. And it sucks because of how good Immortals, of a team Immortals is, right? The caliber of player.
We have seen Immortals do this.
Yes, I know, and that's why it's just. I think it's just frustrating.
It happens once. Okay, it's just a small mental mistake. It happens twice. Like, oh, haha. Like, you know, a few times. Like, you know.
That's lull.
It's
got lull. At this point, that's just what that is, bro.
It is. I mean,
with capitals, not that bastardized version.
That is a tough one there for Immortals. As I know, they were making pretty good progress. They had started to build up some ultimates. They forgot to stay on the payload, though. Sometimes it's these simple things we forget to do. So now Rogue's chance to attack, and the thing, just confidence and momentum, right? I mean, Rogue has to be feeling great right now. You have a lot of time. Immortals, you realize they make a big mental mistake there. Well, maybe you can take advantage of it.
They're just going to hover around the payload. They have so much time, too. 2 minutes and 38 seconds to work with. But they do got to get that first pick. And so far, if you look at the health bars up top, Immortals, they're not in the best of spots here. Fate has to be very careful not to get picked off early on, and they're going to lose Fate there. AKM, you mentioned it before, X, how vital AKM has been to this team. But then Agilities is going to use the Doomfist, and the impact that Doomfist had, especially in the last phase there on their first attack, has been significant. But they're just marching this one right through, and I mean, no one's there to contest them. They're just going to push it around and maybe even make it around this bend, and if that happens, that's just not going to look good.
Well, Immortals setting up here for one last fight. As they get onto the cart here. You see AKM, though, in the back on the 76. There's nobody getting close to contesting him. Grim Reality uses a pulse bomb.
There you go.
He's able to connect on the mecha of Nico. You take out Nox. That'll force Rogue to back on up.
That was a good hold there for Immortals. Well, the payload did make its way around. And, well, good job, Bronco. You did get a kill there on Fate, but still. Now Rogue, regroup. They're so close to being able to capture the point here. 1 point, the yellow box of victory. You see it at the top of your screen. You also see it on the floor when the players get eyes on it. And it's just so close to being able to be a
if you're
victory here
Rogue,
for
I don't
Rogue.
think you really need to invest a ton of ults into this fight. I think you try and get some out on the side of Immortals, and still a minute to go. I mean, they are taking a lot of time here. If you would have went right away, right, and then wasted some of the ults, then you could have had another fight. It'll be a Primal Rage out from Fate. You see Agility's there. That one shot onto Soon. Fate now will take out AKM. So for the side of Immortals, you didn't have to use any of your support ults here. You win that fight. Now this next one's going to be crazy, Alex. You have those support ults for both teams. Tac Visor on the side of Rogue. Meteor Strike for Immortals. See how they decide to play this. As, you cannot get picked here by Agilities. Agilities on the Doomfist has the potential to just pick up one. Okay, so Soon goes all the way to the backline. He lands the Pulse Bomb, forces Kareem to use that Transcendence early. So you got one support ult out of the side of Immortals if you're Rogue. That's huge.
Already dealing with an upper hand here in this situation, not having that. They're going to use the Transcendence of their own, but now it's going to force Immortals to have to use the second support ult here. And then here comes the sound barrier. Now the question is, can Rogue be able to flip this one in their favor as Agilities is going to get taken out, though? And now overtime will be in effect. Self-destruct's gonna go down. Do they manage to stay alive? And Envy's able to take out Unco with the D.Va self-destruct. And Attack Visor is out. He can't get the kills. Immortals might be able to make this hold happen. I can't believe it. They had so much time to work with, and despite the flub from Immortals, the fact that they're able to recover here, oh my goodness, they managed to make it happen. Immortals win it. And we're going to Game 5, and are we living in an alternate universe where things don't make sense, Matthew?
Oh man, the beginning of the fight couldn't have been better for Rogue. You get the pulse bomb onto Kariv, you force him to use a Transcendence. He comes down. Now then they have to use a sound barrier as well. You have your own Transcendence. I know Agilities uses the Meteor Strike, and you can kind of see it from the free camp POV, but he forces the players underneath the bridge for Rogue to split off. They combine that with the self-destruct. They're able to pick up a few kills during that. Man, when things looked like it was going to be poor for Immortals, they turn it around. They win the last 2 maps to force a Game 5 here.
They got to count their blessings, man. I tell you. Like, it's just sometimes,
they step off the cart. They're losing on outfits. They do a tremendous hold there on D.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to Game 5, folks. It's going to be Ilios here. And, for Rogue, winning control has been a bit of a challenge. Luckily, they were able to win out in the first control here. Very true. It did come down to the wire, though. Bear in mind. We ended up with a 2-1 victory for Rogue on Li Zhang. And now that we get ready here for Ilios, and we did see Immortals bust out the pharmacy combo. Maybe we get that again here, because we know Rogue is with it.
So you saw Rogue today adjust much better than they did yesterday. Yesterday, they tried to just have the 76 in the back, deal with it, and that didn't work. And then it forces their D.Va all the way back to protect Unco and AKM. Now, they weren't able to deal with it that way. Today, when we saw the Far Mercy come out for the side of Immortals, how did Rogue go about it? They had AKM swap over to the D.Va. They had Nico go over to the Genji, and they got really aggressive towards the players on the ground. For Immortals, and they were able to win that with ease, force that Far Mercy combo to switch off.
Okay, and it's going to be Ilios, folks. What a matchup that we've had thus far. I mean, we knew this game was going to be intense coming into it, given what's on the line, really, for both teams here, to a chance to get into the playoffs. If Immortals can get a win, that will be huge. I can't emphasize how big that will be for them, because they need this so bad. And now we're going to get Ruins first. Okay, so we're going to get some somber action on both sides, pretty much mirrored here. But Kariv on that sniper, we saw with him Widowmaker in the past, he is a dangerous Widowmaker player.
Yeah, we saw AKM use it yesterday against Buds in the FNRG FE versus Rogue matchup. So mirror comps on both sides. So we get into Game 5. We'll see, the Widowmakers try and line up shots against each other, and then just try and get free pickings on everybody else.
Ooh. Who was able to get that? And okay, show that sass. Anyway, moving forward.
So you saw the angle, AKM looking up top, not able to spot Kariv.
That's typically how I look when I'm like
that's how.
Hey, wait a minute though. AKM got a shot there on Verbo, and now Rogue, they're gonna have the upper hand here as far as body count is concerned. Kariv having to see if he can get anything, but I think he's just not in the best of spots. Will drop back, needs some healing, needs his team to get back into it. Rogue will be able to take control of the first point. Unco has an EMP, Matt.
Yeah, now Nox falls towards the end of that to Grim Reality, so we'll see if Immortals goes fast here towards the point. Agility's learned himself an EMP as well. There are no sound barriers on either side. It's the Pulse Bomb that comes in here for Grim Reality. Let's see if he can land one onto the opponents. The EMP comes in there from Agilities, but it's AKM who's able to take out Verbo.
AKM is doing some work. Oh, nice shot there. Found him in the air. Goodbye, Winston. There goes another one as well. Okay, so AKM, I am sorry I doubted you. I talked about Kariv, and I should have been talking about you this entire time. Please forgive me.
So they get Immortals to use a Pulse Bomb. They get them to use their EMP as well. On the other side, it was Rogue able to hold on to their EMP. They hold on a sound barrier. They had to use a Pulse Bomb. Interesting. So now you see Kariv swap off of the Widowmaker. You'll see he'll go over to Ana, and you have Agilities go over to Genji. So that you'll be able to put a lot more pressure on AKM.
Meanwhile, for Rogue, They're finding a lot of success here, and AKM keeps getting snipes as well, and he's getting another one. I mean, he is just lighting up the kill feed. He got a third kill as well.
We have to see that. Yeah.
We have to see. I hope we got that. That was, I mean, like, you just see him popping up. I think we ended up getting it. Oh, yes, here we go. Finds one. Goodbye, Verbo. Another one in the air. Does he get it? Oh, this was the
that was the previous
before.
one. They're trying to trick us.
They're tricking. But hey, anyway, he's still doing work, so it don't really matter all that much.
You see now Rogue getting very close to completing the match.
Shots.
84% and counting. So now they're going to use their sound barrier here, Rogue. Try and stay alive. It'll be Fate using the Primal Rage. See soon. Just trying to stay on the point. The sound barrier comes in for Immortals, but maybe you only connect with 1 or 2 players there.
Yeah, and it was a little bit desperation too, because he was really low health on that one, and he almost died dropping the beat on that, so the DJ wasn't going to be able to, you know, make the music happen. And anyway, the music dies as Rogue gets the first point, courtesy of some stellar Widowmaker play from AKM. Jeez. That was a clinic.
I mean, maybe you see the sound barrier come out there right there at 99%. You have it. You may as well use it. You'd rather use it than die with it, right? So we'll see now what Rogue decides to do comp-wise on both teams here as we go into Lighthouse. So, okay, so this is one where you see Pharah opt in. You see Immortals set up with that Pharah Mercy combo. It's the same thing that Rogue did to counter it on Lijiang Tower. They'll go with Nico on the Genji. They'll go with AKM here on D.Va.
This is tough here. Rogue one step away, but they got the one that I think a lot of fans probably would have given to them, which was Ruins. Now we get into this Pharah play. While they were able to counter it well on Lijiang, let's see if they're able to do so here in Ilios. Point opens in a couple seconds. No first scramble just yet. There you see the shots go down. AKM has to really put focus onto that. It's going to get a couple members there in the back lines as well, and they're able to take out Fate and Verbo early on. Nico, and he is just a great Genji, showing off why right there.
They don't even worry about the Pharah Mercy in the sky. They have AKM focus on that. Everybody else just plows on through side of Immortals. The point will go to Rogue here at the beginning, and I will see no Immortals. Yep, they'll switch things up. Kareev will go to Zenyatta. Agilities will go over to Genji. So now the Pharah Mercy, great to potentially take the point.
Seems like Immortals
not
just don't
be great
really,
to retake.
They don't really play well around the Pharah Mercy either. It's very clear. Whereas, like, you know, FNR GFE, they did a pretty good job with it because of Buds on that Pharah. But anyway, though, as we take a look at will be Rogue with control of the point, and Unco seeing if he can get any kind of pick so far, and they're trying to just get the jump on him here and take advantage of any opportunities, but Rogue is giving him no windows to work with.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue is building up ults here. You have the Transcendence and you have the Dragon Blade. Nico will use the Blade. Oh, gets right in Kareev's face soon. D-Max Envy here in this fight. This will be another fight that Rogue will win. You had to use your Transcendence and Blade to do it, though. So now, Immortals, you'll get close to a Sound Barrier, you'll get close to a Transcendence. Agilities goes off of Genji here, now goes over to Doomfist. So no opportunity to get like a Rocket Barrage at the beginning. No opportunity to get a Blade here.
Feels like they're throwing anything out there.
You may get the Meteor Strike, but no, I think it's really just going for those one-shot kill potentials on Doomfist. Immortals now with the Transcendence, maybe you use it here.
Yeah, they're also going to get Sound Barrier in this fight too. Rogue will have the same. As now they're just going to focus down on Envy, who is by himself with the Discord Orb. I mean, he was alone. Yeah, sure, you're going to be able to use the self-destruct, but can he stay alive? Yes, okay, so he's able to stay alive here, and then just gets thrown right off the map, so bye-bye, baby.
But you had
not going to happen.
He uses the self-destruct to try and get back in the mech, but you had already lost Agilities like way before that. So it seemed like his team doesn't decide to push in. You see the Sound Barrier come in here for the side of Rogue after Agilities is able to take out Nico. That's a huge kill. But look at that, it's soon in the back line. He's able to deal with Kareev. 99% in favor of Rogue here, trying to close it out.
And they're gonna have to throw everything they have at the point. The D.Va self-destruct comes through, not enough to push people away. It's gonna force out the Primal Rage. Here comes Agilities with the Meteor Strike. He doesn't get anything with that one though. Soon D-Max Envy on that fight. Sound Barrier comes through here. Do they make the push happen? He's trying to stay around the point. And so far, so good for Immortals. They make the flip happen, but they did so at 99% gain for Rogue. One fight. I mean, this has to be a Herculean effort for them to win.
They have to use everything to Immortals to do it. So now, for the side of Rogue, you're going to have Dragon Blade, you're going to have Transcendence. You put yourself in a phenomenal spot I mean, on the side of Immortals, I mean, you don't have Sound Barrier, you don't have Transcendence, you don't have Primal Rage. All you have is Grim Reality with that Pulse Bomb.
I mean, they had the old advantage before in Gibraltar, and they lost it out. They're going to have to, do it again here. Kariv, though, they goes down, and this is already starting to look pretty good for Nico and the boys. Rogue are getting kills, but so far, so good for Rogue. Immortals were able to answer back. They're going to make this flip happen now. And the question is, will they be able to get back in time? Overtime in effect. Here goes Agilities. He goes in for the contesting. They have to play this one out. Desperation for Immortals. You need these wins, but Rogue, they're getting the kills. And they're backing him away. You just got to go in there, but you can't make it happen. Oh, Grim Realities. He's going to come out for the save here. Envies and Grim need to work together to be able to make this flip happen. Pressure's on for both teams. As Rogue, if they're able to close this one out, they would win it, and it seems like that will very much be the case. Overtime's going to tick down even faster, and that will be Rogue getting 3. They will win the series. And Immortals, man, you got to feel for them. It went down to the wire, and they couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, it'll be an AKM play of the game.
Little sharpshooter action.
Widowmaker, we'll take a look at this.
I think this is the one we missed.
Yeah, it was. No, this is the one we saw. So it was a really nice shots from AKM on the first point, but they're towards the end for a Rogue. You have the blade come out, and they find Kariv and another player all the way off in that back sauna. You're able to just dive so deep on him. And it's something we saw throughout the series, right? Whether it was Soon putting pressure on Kariv, Nico now on the Genji. They're able to put a lot of pressure on the supports for Immortals. And then on the other side, I thought Rogue did a much better job today protecting their supports, playing like a team.
Very true. They did. And I mean, that Gibraltar game, though, was a little weird.
Interesting.
In my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many, it should have ended at Gibraltar, given the advantage that they had. Immortals, though, were given another opportunity, and AKM on Ruins, and really just a whole team stopping that pharmacy push in Ilios, just shut down those dreams. For Immortals, the road gets even tougher.
Very
Dare
tough.
I say, near impossible here. For the Season 0 Contenders champions. But Rogue, they continue to fight on in Contenders. Go ahead and send it to the desk to break it all down.